2025 was an impressive year for gold and silver, and 2026 has started on the front foot with both precious metals at record highs. To talk us through what's driving these moves, I'm joined by Rhona O'Connell, Head of Market Analysis Metals. Thank you for joining us, Rhona.
Pleasure, as always.
So, it's all been happening this new year. Gold, Venezuela, or the US Department of Justice?
Oh, pick a straw. It'll probably be the short one. Venezuela was instructive in that gold rallied by $100, which is 2%, 2.5%, and then unwound, which suggests that there's quite a lot of risk premium already in the price. And something similar has happened with the announcement over this weekend about the Department of Justice probe into the so-called mismanagement of the rebuilding of the Fed's HQ. What that suggests to me is much the same as Venezuela, in that there's a lot built in, because if it's come as a shock, and bear in mind that the president has been talking about Venezuela, and he's also been talking about the Fed buildings for months. So to some extent that was probably built in. So it shouldn't have sent the metals into a spiral. But do we see 5,000? It's testing 4.6 at the moment. I'm not convinced that we do. It's been such a crowded market, and I know I said this last year and got it completely wrong, but I'm gonna have another go. The investor positioning on COMEX is actually not particularly top heavy, so there is still room for more. There's enough geopolitics swirling around the markets because we've got Greenland as well, we've potentially got Iran, we've got Cuba, all on the horizon. Varying degrees. So I would expect more strength in gold and by association silver over the coming weeks, because everything is still so uncertain. But taking a punt that we do have a reasonably humanitarian outcome over the course of the rest of the year, and with the yield curve likely to be steepening, and that comes from Catherine Brunivera, our chief strategist. So I'm tying in with her as far as I can. That would suggest to me that we've got more strength, as I say, and then probably some unwinding. And I've gone out on a limb, and I'm looking for a test of 4,000 before the end of the year.
Okay, and then I'm just sort of thinking about what's going on here. Do we have sort of timelines as well as far as developments are concerned?
No.
It's your crystal ball. Yeah.
The only hard date that we've got is the Supreme Court starting to hear argument in the Lisa Cook case, which is pivotal, on the 21st of the month. Because what we have with Lisa Cook, and I know I've talked about this before, but very, very briefly, the president in, I think it was August, wanted to fire her for cause on the allegation of impropriety over mortgage activity. Now, that's an allegation. It's not a proven fact, which is why she sued. So it's his appeal that's in the Supreme Court. So if the judges find in favour of the president, and judging from the way they were questioning Scott Bessent, I suspect they may not, then all hell could break loose. That's probably overdoing it a bit, but it'll add fuel to the fire, put it that way. If they find in her favour, then we could see some risk premium coming out of gold even then. But the core about this is not so much who's on the Federal Reserve Board, and it's worth remembering it's not a kingdom, there's a board of 12 voters. And when Stephen Mirren steps down, he's on the easier side in terms of monetary policy. So if an easy money policy person comes in, then the balance hasn't really shifted very much. In my mind, what is really important here is the separation of powers in the Constitution. It's a core component of the Constitution that the legislative, the judiciary and the executive have those powers completely separate from one another. You can tell I read law, can't you? Yeah. And if that gets blurred, then we've got a problem. And I can see the Treasury market coming under severe pressure.
And so we've talked about gold, how we see gold, or you could see gold. Did you say looking at sort of 4,000 by the end of the year?
End of year, not middle of.
No.
End of.
Yeah, a lot to get through between now and then.
Indeed.
And what about silver?
I hope we make it that far.
It does feel like that right now.
Silver, blood on the streets.
Okay.
I've seen it so many times. This time actually does feel a bit different. But the number of times I've seen a strong silver rally followed by a cataclysmic drop is happened lots of times, and I don't see why this should be particularly different. It's the chart for the last month or so is vertical, pretty much. Again, the investor positioning doesn't seem to be that top heavy. But the key to this is that it's such a volatile market. When it turns down, which could be some months away yet, it's likely to go faster than gold will. It's more volatile anyway, and we go back to the old rule of thumb, whereby if gold moves by X% in either direction, silver would generally move by between 2 and 2.5x. And in fact, this morning, gold's up 2% and silver's up 6%.
Yeah, completely. To prove the point.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for your insights, Watson. Again, great talking to you.
Great pleasure, and to you.
For more videos like this, please do like and subscribe.